When you're going down the interstate at 120, do you ever fear that a cop's going to pull you over, handcuff you, throw you over the hood of your car, and shoot you 5 times in the back for running away? I don't, because I'm not black. But as I'm cruising down the interstate at 120 miles an hour, and As It Was by Harry Styles pops on the radio, I can't help but wonder, are all of these lyrics innuendo, or am I just horny? Unfortunately, that's the last thought I think before my '08 Chevy Cobalt gets wrapped around the trunk of a tree after I hit it at 120 miles an hour. That's what we're here to figure out. Are these lyrics innuendo, or am I just horny? Let's start with a classic, Uptown Funk. Now, this is a pretty crazy intro. It starts with do, 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 ow. And so, horniness-wise, I think that rate's probably a 0 on the scale, that first line at least. But let's move down to the refrain. This refrain doesn't really seem to have any sexual innuendos, nothing about that. But when I listen to it and I hear him and I see him move in the music video really coolly, am I the only one getting like sexual themes from this? I don't know, there's no specific innuendos there, but I'm too hot, body hot, right? He's surely not talking about his actual body temperature, because then he would be jumping into a pool. And now we get to the next line, cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. So, right off the bat, funk, it's fuck, right? Like, I don't know if I'm the only one, like, it's fuck, right? Funk is fuck. Am I missing something? Funk is fuck. Uptown Funk gon' give it to you, Uptown Fuck gon' give it to you. They are clearly talking about sex. This is 100%, without a doubt, sex. This is not me being horny. He says, cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you, whoa. That has to be sex. If it's not sex, I will goddamn eat my shoe. That has to be about sex. So now we get to perhaps the most overt and obvious sexual innuendo, Uptown Funk You Up. Once again, funk is fuck. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, I'm crazy. I don't know. Uptown Funk You Up. Uptown Funk You Up. That has to be Uptown Funk You Up. That has to be an innuendo. There's no way it's not. That has to be an innuendo. I am not horny. That's fuck. 100% that has to be an innuendo. I would say Uptown Funk, definitely completely innuendo. So interestingly, Uptown Funk is the only song that my mom will jam out to with me. My mom is very Christian, very religious. And in honor of her, I figured we'd look at some of her Christian songs, her contemporary Christian songs, and see, whether they're innuendo as well. Because I'm not saying this is all just contemporary, just all songs. For all we know, every song has an innuendo. That's what I'm getting at here. So I chose Holy Water by We the Kingdom, and it starts off, well, I'll just read it to you. God, I'm on my knees again. God, I'm begging please again. Now, if we take away the capitalization on that G right there, that is clear sexual innuendo. If I say, God, I'm on my knees again. God, I'm begging please again. I need you. Oh, I need you. Those are lines straight from a porno. Like, there's no questions there. That is 100% a sexual innuendo. The only thing trying to mask it is that capital G, because, right, otherwise it'd just be sexual language if they didn't innuendoize it by saying as if it's about, God. I think that's just the words used in a porn film, to be honest. I think they just, stole that directly from a porno. Your forgiveness is like sweet, sweet honey on my lips. What's the forgiveness? Like, dom-sub relationship here? Oh, I've been in such a bad boy, bad girl. Give me forgiveness. And what's forgiveness? Oral sex, in this case, come, either from the guy or the girl, doesn't matter. That is very clearly like a dominatrix fetish there, where they're being like the sub in this case. And like, oh man, I've been a bad sub. Oh, you gotta punish me. And then the punish is, of course, having oral sex. Very clearly an innuendo there. Like holy water on my skin. Like holy water on my, what else can be holy water? Semen, cum. It's clearly whoever's singing the song wants a cum shot on their body, on their hair, on their face. Very obvious, very clear that this is sexual innuendo. So I'm rating this whole song as almost all sexual innuendo. I think that's pretty self-explanatory there. Moving on, As It Was by Harry Styles took the world by storm, and by world I mean my goddamn radio. I literally cannot drive 5 minutes without this song being played. And so the big question, is it sexual innuendo? Let's look at it. Gravity's holding me back. I want you to hold out the palm of your hand. Why does he want her? I'm assuming it's a her, I suppose. Why does he want her to hold out the palm of her hand? So he can stick his dick in it for a hand job. Now, this is 100% sexual innuendo, because if you look at it, it's clear that this guy is wanting, in this case, this guy, Harry Styles, is wanting a hand job. Why don't we leave it at that? Nothing to say when everything gets in the way, seems you cannot be replaced, and I'm the one who will stay. Oh, unfortunately, she is not giving it to him, and so he is down bad like me, without a girl, and he's feeling very sad, and he wants sex. And so he's bemoaning his lack of sex. in a very innuendo way, where he's not really saying that he's like down bad that he needs sex, but obviously it's sexual innuendo. We're smart enough to see it. In this world, it's just us. It's not the same as it was. This whole entire chorus is just him being like, yo, come back, please, I want to have sex with you. It's all sexual innuendo. Go home, get ahead, Lightspeed internet. Lightspeed internet is of course referring to his connection speed. So when he loads up, Pornhub, XXX videos, browsers. I'm not going to list more because I don't want you to know how many websites I know. And so it's clear that his internet is super fast, and he goes home and he's like, well, shoot, I lost my girlfriend. I lost the love of my life. I lost the ability to have sex with this woman who I love. And so what's left? Literally sex with my hand. And this is obviously sexual innuendo for he's going to masturbate. 100% as it was is a sexual innuendo. Now we get to Industry Baby by Lil Nas X. And I don't think the words matter. I think that if your entire music video is a bunch of naked guys dancing with each other, I think this is going to have to be, we've made it past, the words are sexual innuendo. The imagery is literally just naked dudes dancing, which, hot, obviously. But more importantly, very obviously this is about sex. Like, you can make if I make a song, goddamn, about loving trees and being like, wow, trees are the best, and in the background I show myself naked, dancing amongst the trees, perhaps sticking my penis into the holes in the trees, it is obviously that no matter what I say, even if I start talking about something random, like talking about the sun, it's very clear that no matter what, if I'm literally having maybe not sex, but like I'm naked with maybe some bunch of naked girls, a bunch of naked guys, and it's like, doesn't matter what the video is about, it's sexual innuendo. It doesn't matter what I say. Anyway, Industry Baby, sexual innuendo. And now we get to Maroon 5, Moves Like Jagger. It's clearly a sexual innuendo the whole way through. Just shoot for the stars. What shoots? The dick shoots come. A clear sexual innuendo. If it feels right, then aim for my heart. Clearly, Maroon 5 guy who's singing this is a masochist and wants to be stabbed in the heart while having sex. This is obviously a sexual innuendo. If you feel like, and take me away, and make it okay. So if you feel like would attach to, if it feels right, then aim for my heart. If you want to, if you're comfortable with my masochism during roleplay and the sex that we're having, feel free to do it if you feel like it. I'm not trying to pressure you or anything. Sexual innuendo. Take me away and make it okay. Take me away where? Clearly to bliss, clearly to heaven, clearly to orgasm. This is obviously a sexual innuendo. And make it okay, I swear I'll behave. So this man obviously likes to be dominated. So he swears he'll behave, and you make it okay. Clearly he wants to be stepped on, maybe in the chest, right? I don't know if it's a knife, maybe it's like a dominatrix stiletto heel, but it's very clear this is about sex. It's a sexual innuendo. You want to control, so we waited. He hasn't obviously come to terms with his desire to be dominated in his masochism, his masochistic traits, and so she said that I would only do it if I had control. I can tell that you're a sub, and that's how we're going to have sex. Clearly he was not comfortable with that at first, so we waited. You say I'm a kid, my ego is big. His ego being big, of course, is what makes this so hot to him, because his ego is big, but he's getting dominated by his sexual partner in his case. Clearly making it a lot more interesting for him, clearly a sexual innuendo. I don't need to try to control you, because he's getting used to his submissive and masochistic tendencies here. Previously, he felt like he couldn't do that with other women, but this one has broken through that barrier for him. Good for him. I'm glad he's enjoying what he's doing now, and it's obvious that he's finally giving up control to the dominatrix. Whatever you want, get inside it. See, I think this is actually talking about pegging. I think he wants to be pegged. I think that they've gone that far in their relationship that that's what he wants. So clearly a sexual innuendo. Oh, baby, rub me right. This is obviously sex. Rub me right. Rubbing where? The vagina. Very obviously a sexual innuendo. And I think that just about wraps up Maroon 5 Moves Like Jagger. Now to the one that's most obvious in terms of is it sexual innuendo or am I just horny? Whap. Whores in this house, there's some whores in this house, there's some whores in this house, there's some whores in this house. Hole up, I said certified freak, 7 days a week, wet ass pussy, make that pull out game weak. Woo! Whores in this house is just a really, funny, haha, I'm so quirky way of referring to yourself and your buddies, And so I think when she's saying whores in the house here, she's just like, hey, all my buddies, my whole squad, we're rolling up, baby, watch out, whores in the house, right? Woo, yeah, party time. And so that's not actually sexual innuendo, I don't think, in this case. So now we have wet ass pussy, make that pull out game weak. Now, when you're thinking wet ass pussy, interestingly enough, this isn't actually sexual innuendo. It refers instead to making a mess. I think that this entire song is about her dropping a gallon of milk on the floor in a supermarket. And so we start with, whores in the house, there's some whores in this house. It's like, yo, squad, we're rolling up into a Walmart. And so now they're in the Walmart, wet ass pussy. Oh no, they dropped a gallon of milk, make that pull-out game weak. And now the janitor has to begrudgingly go to the mop closet and pick up a mop to clean up the wet ass pussy, the milk jug, the gallon of milk that she dropped on the floor here. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass. How else do you clean up a gallon of milk? It's a bucket and a mop. Very clear. Give me everything you got for this wet ass pussy. Now, this is actually pretty nice of her. I think she's offering to clean up the mess that she made this time. Give me everything you got. You know, bring a bucket and a mop. Like you bring it to me, yo, I'll do it, right? Like I made the mistake. I get that. I'm gonna clean it up for you. Catch a charge, extra large and extra hard. Like we need a big mop. Like I spilled potentially even. She could be talking about like 2 gallons. I don't know if you've ever seen a gallon of water of anything on the ground. It's a lot. It goes everywhere. So this could be like a gallon or even 2 gallons, depending on what she thinks is a lot of milk. You know, we don't really know what she's thinking here. It could be up to 2 gallons of milk. That's a lot of milk. Very makes sense. This is not sexual innuendo. Put this pussy right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. So this is putting the milk in your face. Like, I'm sorry. Like, this is what I broke. This is what's on the ground right now. It's 2% Prairie Farms milk. I deeply apologize, and I know it's deeply upsetting for you as a minimum wage worker to have to clean this up. I am so sorry. Spit in my mouth. Look at my eyes. This pussy is wet. Come take a dive. She is feeling very ashamed. Like, spit on me. It's like, you don't deserve this. Like, I made such a huge mistake, and I'm like humiliating myself and you. Like, I deserve everything. Spit in my face. You know, like make me feel ashamed of myself. It's terrible. Truly, this is not sexual innuendo. The pussy is wet. Come take a dive. I spilled 2 gallons of milk on the floor. Like we gotta start. You know, I gotta start somewhere. If you want, you can join me. But I'm willing to own up to this. Once again, not sexual innuendo. Gobble me, swallow me, drip down the side of me. You might be thinking like, oh, that's just cum. That's just a dude ejaculating on her. No, in this case, it's milk. She's referring, now she's like swapped to the, you know, like, what is the milk feeling right now? It's like, it wants to be gobbled, it wants to be swallowed, it wants to drip down the side of you, but unfortunately it can't. It's feeling sad, it's feeling the sympathy, and Cardi B is like really sympathizing with this milk carton that she dropped. So once again, not sexual innuendo. Look, I need a hard hitter, I need a deep stroke, I need a Henry drink, I need a weed smoker. Who works at Walmart, right? Like, you're not getting like C-suite executives, you know, you're getting John who smokes marijuana every day. Walmart workers, I need your help. She's now admitting that this problem is too large for her to accomplish. Once again, not sexual innuendo. Let him taste, and now he's diabetic. Milk has a lot of sugar in it. I don't want to spit, I want to gulp. Milk is delicious. I want to gag, I want to choke. Milk is delicious. I want you to touch that little dangly thing that's swinging the back of my throat. She wants the milk to go to her tonsils. Once again, this is clearly about milk and no type of sexual innuendo here. I could go through the rest of it. If there's any of them that are obviously not sexual innuendo, I think that WAP is obviously very clean. I'm just incredibly horny. Sometimes I think into these things too hard. At first, when I saw, you know, now from the top, make it drop, that's some wet ass pussy. Now get a bucket and a mop, that's some wet ass pussy. I was like, that's gotta be about sex, you know? But then when you start to think about it, when you really pay a bit of attention, you're like, oh, she dropped the milk and now she needs a mop to clean up the milk. It makes a lot more sense when you think about it that way. And so this is obviously not sexual innuendo. Well, unfortunately, this video has shot my chance of running for president in the foot, and then shot them again in the stomach and in the heart, and then wrapped them in chains and put a weight on those chains, and then threw me into the Mississippi River from a height of 200 feet. As in, my chances are gone and dead and will never resurface. But I really hope it was worth it to everyone who watched. Me and my sister. That's all. I don't know how to end this video. Goodbye.